Let's get rolling with another transfer rater for you, starting off today with Ali Moreno joining me. We've got Milan Skriniar, who's been one of the standout defenders, not just at Inter.
Yeah.
He is the standout guy at Inter. He's been fantastic all year.
Right. And so I can see why Manchester City would be like, hey, we need a defender. Hey, Laporte is coming back at some point, hopefully, but maybe this guy can play alongside him because the other options, well, they're not so good. I can see that from Manchester City's perspective. However, if you're Inter and you're right in the middle of a title race with Juventus, why? Oh, why would you even consider the possibility of Škriniar walking out the door? You don't. If you're Inter, you got to be like, hey, buddy, I know this may be something you want to do, but not so much. And if indeed they're going to entertain any sort of offer from Manchester City, it's got to be an over-the-top offer. It's got to be something that you just cannot leave on the table. But even then, you're in a title race. What kind of message are you sending to your players, to your fans, to the organization, to the city, to everybody, and saying, hey, guess what? We're in a title race, but one of our best defenders, out he goes. I don't think so. I just don't see it from the perspective of Inter as to how you turn your back on the possibility of winning an Scudetto title just because you can get a lot of money for a defender and from Manchester City and take advantage of what Manchester City may be able to pay you. I just don't see it.
It can't possibly be in the winter, can it? I mean, even in the summer, let's say they were to go on and win the title.
Yeah.
Does that give him more of an excuse to go or to stay?
Well, even if... No, I think if they win the title, you're Inter, you're like, all right, well, if he's still a hot commodity, you're willing to listen. But you take that step once you've won. You don't take that step when you haven't won and you have an opportunity to do so for the first time in who knows how long. See, Juventus has had a stranglehold on the Scudetto for 8 years now, and so now you have a chance. Here's an opportunity. You're in the title race. You are right there with Juventus and looking very good and competing against Juventus. This is not the moment to make this move. It just simply wouldn't send the right message to anybody involved with the Inter organization.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Okay, so Ezequiel Barco, 20 years old at Atlanta United to Manchester United.
All right, let's start with the positives about Ezequiel Barco. For those who are not familiar with Ezequiel Barco, a guy who has played with the youth national teams in Argentina and did quite well actually towards the end of the season for Atlanta United. However, he's a player that struggled early on in Major League Soccer and was not able to translate his success from Independiente into Major League Soccer right away. And so there's been some moments in which you think, yeah, he's a player, and then there are other moments that you just go, I don't know about this guy. And so if this is the sort of player that we're talking about, then I'm not sure that Manchester United is the sort of level that we should be talking about when we mention Ezequiel Barco. I don't think he's quite ready for that just yet. I want to see consistency from him for a full year and actually see good performance, high-level performance for a full year before we start talking about Manchester United. I think this is crazy talk right now.
Does Miguel Almiron, kind of that situation, sound a warning? Is it a case study for them?
Well, Miguel Almiron was the guy that was keeping this guy on the bench. Miguel Almiron was playing at a much higher level than Ezequiel Barco was for Atlanta United. And so if you think that Miguel Almiron has struggled at times for Newcastle, then it's difficult to see the jump for Ezequiel Barco. Now, all things are not created equal, and maybe different situations would apply, but Ezequiel Barco is a talented player, a young player, but I do think he needs some maturity to his game in order for him to be thinking about the possibility of going elsewhere. Certainly, if you're from Manchester United's perspective, you look at it and say, wait a minute, unless this is just on the cheap and this is just something that we're just kind of taking a chance here, but I just don't see how you go and take a chance because he's not quite there yet.
Right. Here we go, Harry Winks. He was linked to Manchester United in our segment yesterday.
What happened?
Well, clearly a big fish has come in for him at Manchester City. Stevie wasn't having this. He thought he was too similar to everything that Manchester United have. What do you think for him and his chances of breaking into a Manchester City midfield?
Well, how is he a better option than whatever Manchester City have available in those positions? And not only how is he a better option or a better alternative, how is he any different than any of those guys. If you consider, let's just say for the sake of argument, that you think, Harry Winks, yeah, I can see a Manchester City player out of Harry Winks. I can see that. And so who are you going to take out? Who's he better than that you're going to take out? Gundogan? No, I don't think so. De Bruyne? No. David Silva? No. I mean, even if you were to say, well, Phil Foden, I'd rather have Phil Foden out there. So, I mean, you go up and down the list. I just don't see where he fits in, and I'm just not quite sure that Harry Winks would be a target for Manchester City.
Gotcha. A miss on that one as well. Luka Modric to DC United. They're quite hot on him, apparently.
Well, I'm sure DC United is hot on them. I don't know that Luka Modric would be hot on DC United. And the difficulty for MLS teams is that while you want to make this sort of acquisition because of the name that Luka Modric represents, Luka Modric, as good a player as he is, Ballon d'Or winner, does not have the appeal that, say, a guy like Zlatan has. So you're trying to make that move, you're trying to make that splash, you're trying to bring that attention, but you also want to make it a productive hire for you. We want to make it a productive player for you. And part of the reason that Luka Modric is having difficulties featuring all the time for Real Madrid is because he's having difficulty staying healthy, which is also a byproduct of a guy who has a lot of miles on those legs. MLS is a very difficult league in terms of those miles on your legs, miles on your body. So players that are having difficulty staying healthy before they even come to Major League Soccer, this is not quite the environment to have those injuries disappear. Those injuries will reappear even more often. I don't see where Luka Modric really fits into DC United. Great player, talented player, but the overall picture, the marketing, what you can do with Luka Modric as a player, is he everything that you want out of a big signing like Luka Modric? Not quite. I'm not quite seeing it. You're not going to get the same sort of reaction that you would from bigger names. And when I say bigger names, I mean bigger personalities. A guy like Zlatan Ibrahimovic, for example.
Or Wayne Rooney. There we go.
Well, and Wayne Rooney, who was productive on the field as well.
Exactly.
And there was some motivation there from Wayne Rooney in that he was sort of escorted out the back door in England, and there was something to him in saying, you know what, I'm not quite done yet. I'm not sure that that's happening right now with Luka Modric.
Is he done yet?
This is an oldie but a goodie. We haven't done this one in a while. Bale to Manchester United.
Recycle the hits.
Yes. An oldie but a goodie. He's been done for a while at Real Madrid, but he seems content to just be hanging on and be like, hey, pay me my contract. I'll go play some golf. Be all right. Be cool with it. And when he gets an opportunity to play, there are moments in which he does something that you go, hey, wait a minute. Why is he not playing more often? So I think he writes it out. I don't think he ends up back in Manchester United. And this goes against what the idea of Manchester United has been. They're in the market for guys like Jadon Sancho because of the young, exciting English player. Well, he's none of those. Yeah, he used to be exciting. Now it's exciting-ish. There are moments for Gareth Bale, but in the totality, Gareth Bale is not quite the player that he was when he first left the Premier League.
So not a player on the wish list in terms of make weight for a Paul Pogba swap, although Real Madrid, of course, have plenty of players that Manchester United may well indeed covet. Let us know what you think. Bale, Modric, any of the others, in the comments section below. We cannot wait to read them.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.